Today is December 21st, 2025. You know, this whole thing's a fraud scheme. My friend Walter used to work at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office. Took him 30 seconds, the whole thing's a fraud scheme. Absolutely. You know how stupid these people are. They make your head hurt. They make your head hurt. In 2018, they said they were stealing for a poor family. Came out that it's Savannah. And that drug dealer, baby daddy, or hers. Trying to set Savannah and his baby up. His baby mom and baby girl. Running a fraud scheme on the government. I told you, Strange, her uncle, the Colton. My sister Linda is married to Tim, his son. And Linda told me years ago, Strange only puts it on that he's smart. I said, well, he went to college. No. He only has a 1950 high school education. He can only read, write, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. He puts on airs that he's really intelligent, and he's not. He never went to college. He has no formal education. His education is very, very low. He just pretends he's intelligent. I said, what do you mean? Well, the only reason why he even has a minister's license is in the 1950s. A group of ministers across a parking lot, there's that Conquerors Hall. They did a couple Bible lessons, signed a bunch of ministers' license. He paid for a couple ministers' courses that they taught. They just preached to him and then signed them. He didn't go to college. He can only read, write, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. That's all he can do. And she said the only reason why he got the church, the guy was trying to sell it and he couldn't sell it. And he offered him a land contract that he paid so much every month. And if he missed one payment, he lost everything. He didn't think he could do it. That's why he was always bullying everybody for offerings and tithes to get that church paid off. So he's a low-educated man that bullied people out of their hard-earned money so he could buy a building. Do you realize where he hated the government? Being low-educated. That's where the stupid fraud scheme. And his niece and great niece, that she had a drug dealer's baby, ran a fraud scheme to steal from the government. Special permission to be in somebody's home? I want to know what fool gave you special permission, because you're both going to jail. The law, the Fourth Amendment, requires a court order. Police and agencies under a threat of life with statements and court order. There's nothing else. So whatever fool you were saying gave you special permission, you're both going to jail 5 to 10 years. Fake sodium pentothal reports. Drugs and told to say it with hypnotic drugs. Photoshop washing and stocking tapes. Fake dirty doctors. Now I want you to think about a doctor being with them. Like they said, they didn't realize these people putting the word doctor on it made it so illegal everyone go to jail. HIPAA violations. Now, no doctor can talk about you without your consent. It's 10 years federal. Then they're in there in a federal police office saying they're in it with people trying to kill this victim. They're accessory to murder and attempted murder. They're part of having this victim drugged for fake confessions, fake sodium pentothal reports, hypnotic drugs, and told to say it. Photoshopped washing and stocking tapes. Then later on, these people admitted they sold kiddie porn on my grandkids' going body. The guy's a child molester. He's a human trafficker. The person's being drugged, being raped, under drugs, and poor victims so drugged up they don't know what's happening to them. Going to the doctor with injuries they can't explain. All the signs of being drugged, being raped. The guy's a human trafficker. And part of trying to have someone killed and covered up, thinking a federal cop is stupid. Start thinking about it, honey. This person is an accessory to attempted murder, kidnapping, drugs, human trafficking, kiddie porn, breaking HIPAA violations. And anything they would say would be trustworthy. He didn't break it down to that. December 15th, 25. I go to Louisville. I take my husband to Stag here. Across the parking lot, some girl's telling some guy. We found out the doctor from before. He's just some guy Dave hired. He's not even a doctor. Duh. Duh. Where investigators said years ago, we knew none of Karen's doctors could ever be with them. Duh. Okay. On Christmas Eve of 22, I went to Danny and John and asked them if they knew anything about this. They didn't. Kept going over and over and over and talking to them. Trying to slowly let them know what's going on. Okay. April 16th, 23, across the parking lot. Danny and Jen, my one son, walk up to my grown grandson and his girlfriend at the time, Gabe and Jane. Said, I finally went to Dad, asked him what on earth is going on. He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. Was Pete and his men in her home before? Pete has her framed. Pete has her tape the filthy, dirty statement. I've never met him. Never talked to him. He's just some guy Dave hired on his own. Probably my rapist. The drugs and told us they eat dirty stuff. Never talked to him. We're November 23rd, 25 girls in Macy's downstairs in Summit Mall. Yell out how they were already connected to my ex-husband. They went to him, they wanted to run a scam on the government to extort money from him. They needed someone to run a scam on. They asked him if they could do it to me. He said yes, if they made sure he got everything during the divorce. And he agreed they could do it to me. December 1st, 25, an investigator shows up that Michelle, one of Dave's other ex-girlfriends, had showed up and told him that the doctor from before was never one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of my doctors. Of course they lied. HIPAA. And then the guy's this big of a criminal. And that guy, Pete, that was in his office running his mouth about me, that he found out I had never even met him. No, he's just Dave's hitman. Running a con. And that these people had admitted to using hypnotic drugs when they drugged me and told me to say it before. August 4th, 25, August 5th, 25, and August 7th, 25. And that they admitted to photoshopping washing in the shower in the other room to make me look weird. And this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. And Michelle told on him. August 17th, 25. I'm not August, sorry. December 17th, 25. Walmart 62. People are talking about how on April 28th, 24, they had Pam Tate admitting knowing tapes before, right? Some guy's in there. He's talking. He said, we all knew that Karen didn't know Dave was dating Savannah too. She was telling people that she was threatening her. We all followed him around. He was going out with her when he was supposed to be at work, and Karen was out with family or at home. She didn't know that Dave was cheating on her with Savannah. She would have just divorced her. I would have divorced him. And no, I would have never said a word to her. I would have told Dave off. And we went after the drug dealers they hired. Should have arrested them too. And that guy, Chris, we thought he liked her. At first time we found out that he was the one beating her. He was always following her around. So was he the guy in 2018 was one of the neighbors that were stalking me and they didn't know why? Is he the fake FBI agent that tortured me? I don't know. But is he the fake FBI agent that tortured me? Good question. How would you like to have been drug beat and raped by somebody you never met? I don't know these people. How would you like to take a drink out of a Diet Coke in the room with Disney and Black? We go with injection marks. Orange, lemon, grapefruit sized bruises. Throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out, severe personal infection. I have no idea what happened to you. And you've been drug beat and raped in your own home. For Savannah and her drug dealer's baby to be millionaires. You know, she actually had to go where it came out last year. After that, they said they were stealing for that poor family. They said it was Savannah. It's like, she's not poor. Her mom's an RN nurse since 1984. Was a nurse. Was at LPN, went on to RN. Her husband was an electrician. They had an income of $250,000 to $300,000 a year for 30 years. She's an RN nurse too and remarried. Her dad owned an electrical company and her grandparents owned rental homes. So it was money that came from money, that makes money. They're very wealthy. They're the kind of people who went down to Disney World for a month. Christmas time stayed on Disney World to a whole group of people. They're very wealthy people. Oh, when people found out they were wealthy, they said on December 17th, 25, she was telling people I was rude to her. Me to her, I've never even spoke to her. You know, Pam and Jack coming up to me at church saying, hi, how's your family? How's your kids, your grandkids? They may have said, hey, that's our daughter, and I may have looked over and said hello. But that's it. I've never had a conversation with her. And I would have never put an 18-year-old girl with a 60-year-old fat bald man that has crooked teeth and waddles like a duck. I would have never put that one together. And I would have never told her off. Never. I would have told Dave off and divorced him. Because there had been nothing to say to her. That was a lie. When people found out they were stealing for Savannah and her baby, and it's some drug dealer showing off for them, for the wealthy people, that he can set them up. I guess she told people she wants to be a millionaire for life. And they're trying to set her and that baby up for life to be millionaires. The wealthy people want to be millionaires now. You're stealing for wealthy people because she had a drug dealer's baby, and that drug dealer is running a con on the government to set up his baby mama and baby. I told you, Strange hated the government. He'd preach over the pulpit. One day the government will come get your guns. You'll have to hide them in pipes in the ground. They'll brainwash your kids and may take your kids. He hated the government. He's low educated. Where Linda said he put on airs. He only has a 1950 education. Only read, write, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Low educated occult leader. Hates the government. And his niece is got a big drug dealer's baby. And then gonna run a con on the government. That'd be a thrill for him. And that he fooled them. To steal from the government to set up his family for millions. And people helping that a call hurt somebody they're running a con on. The stupidest con in the world. Like my friend Walter from the Starr County Prosecutor's Office is a big fraud scheme. A stupid one of every law that can't be broke. That's why Lighthouse Tabernacle Strangers Church made fun of FBI agent John how they fooled him with the stun of tapes before. August 5th, 25, they called him a coward. As if he didn't know they used hypnotic drugs where they drugged her and told her to say it before. That's why she had a metal taste in her mouth. No memory of these people. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, being raped before the case started. Didn't care. He let him torture her. Is he some kind of coward? August 7th, 25, Walmart 62. They have tapes of them. Again, admitting to drugging me and telling me to say it before. They already admitted they photoshopped everything in the shower scene years ago. Raised that guy Chris on the room. Talked about photoshopping all their lives in 18. Drugging me and telling me to say stuff before. We had bruises throwing up and infected. It was us. We drugged you and told you to say this. We drugged you and told you to say that. I used to run and throw up. Find out how people play for it. You did it for Savannah. Some rich bitch. Some wealthy, entitled, rich bitch. Because she had some big drug dealer's baby. I heard she was telling people that she wanted them to harass and harm for her and her baby to be millionaires on the 17th. People didn't find her funny. How do you think I'd feel? I've never even had a conversation with her. That church lies so much. In 2011, I was going to Blaylock's church, okay? And it was terrifying at times. Dave was acting out. I told you, Dave was weird. He'd be good for me for years. First time I had a bad day, he'd beat the hell out of me. Well, it was like terror there for a couple months. One time I came home from work. It's the middle of the night. I stocked shelves at Walmart West Husk at midnight, and I come home on my lunch break and lay down for a half hour with him. Okay, because we just lived like 3 miles down the road. And I come in the house. It's dark. I go to walk in the room. He pushes me out. The lights off. Okay, starts swinging at my head. I'm ducking. I'm like, what? And he's screaming crazy crap, and he's punching the wall, and I'm ducking. And I'm running out of the house. He runs out in his underwear, and he punches the car door as I pull off. I call Danny. I said, Danny, does he have someone in there? He said, no, Mom, I swear he's just mean. Now, the lights were off. That wouldn't have been funny if somebody was hiding in there in the dark. Because he pushed me out, the lights were off, and then started swinging at my head and punched the walls as I was running from him. Never even had a chance to see somebody. That would have been funny, right? Do you know they told stories that he had Katie in there, and that I was supposed to chase her around the bedroom, chased her down the street? I about died when people told me. I said, there was no one in there. I said, Dave, do you have there? And he's like, no. I don't know why she's lying. Well, she's been cheating with my brother-in-law, Tim, since 2002 on my sister, Linda. Linda got caught pulling him in 2003, and that's when Strange made up that lie and called me a faker. They have had an affair for over 20 years. Everybody knows it. Okay? I was going to Blaylock's. This little old lady came up to me. I heard your husband left you. I said, ma'am? My husband, this is 2011. He worked days back then. I said, my husband goes to work in the morning, comes home at night. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who told you that. He's still at home. And she said, I heard you're in denial. I said, ma'am, my husband didn't leave me. I heard you're in denial. I said, ma'am, he goes to work every day and he comes home every night. And she said, honey, you need to accept it. You're in denial. I said, ma'am, if he left me, I'm going to stop washing his underwear. She just looked at me like I was stupid. I tired of arguing with her. I'm working at Wood Forest in Maslin, Walmart. Dave's there talking to me. That old lady walks up to Dave. I'm so glad you came back to Karen. He said, what is she talking about? I said, that's when Elijah left me. He said, ma'am, I never left Karen. I said, I told you everything they're saying is a lie. She's like, what? I don't care who you are in that church. You can't lie like that. Well, one night, he came home. I used to work midnights at Walmart. And then I used to watch Danny's kids. Okay. Danny had picked up his kids, and I was sitting there watching TV. Dave came in from church. He got undressed, crawled across me. Okay. Started kissing me, acted like he was going to make love to me. And he said, I can't stay interested. I rolled over my stomach and I started to cry. He jumps on my back, pins my head to the bed, starts butt raping me, and I'm screaming. My God, stop. And he's punching me. And he's like, you'll learn to keep your filthy mouth shut. And I'm screaming, my God, stop. And when I finally break loose of him, I'm covered in blood. I run downstairs, collapse in the shower, and there's blood all over the shower. It took me a long time to stop bleeding. I go upstairs, and I'm like, why? You'll learn to keep your filthy mouth shut. I said, Danny just left with the kids an hour ago. I've been sitting here watching TV. What are you talking about? He looks sick. I got infections. Ended up in the hospital within a week. I was ripped through it and fourth lung. One of his girlfriends he was probably cheating on me with that I didn't know about. Where you're supposed to be going to a religious church that you commit adultery, they throw you out. Lied to him and came home and butt raped me. We walked into Macy's not too long after that. And I said, Dave, are you cheating with that girl? He said, Karen, I'd rather kiss a cow's butt than that fat, ugly heifer. Or buy the purses in Macy's. Well, I sort of giggled, and I said, Dave, are you cheating with that girl? He said, Karen, she's pathetic. Saying that a married man would leave his wife for her. She's pathetic. Now, the only way she would know of his mean joke in 2012 is if he told her, we're in Macy's, buy the purses. And it was 2012. I want you to think about that. So what we started to do was walk on the other side of the kiosk. So she couldn't say we said anything or anything else, and avoided her. Because the only thing we would ever say is hello if we seen her. She had been cheating with my brother-in-law Tim since 2001 or 2. My sister Linda was following him around, and she got caught. She was out one day and found her husband with him. That's a minister's kid. She was too scared to say anything. She came up to me at church. I was following him again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. That's when Strange made up that lie to get rid of me real quick. Pushed my kid to suicide. I don't think that church is funny. And that low-educated minister, for his great niece that has a drug dealer's baby running a con on the government that he hates, that they made a public fool of the FBI. Agent John, they tell people you ride around with them making fun of me. I hope not. You do know I reported this to the Department of Justice, because on a recorded line you talked to me like an evil cat. How you had all the church people in your office, and you knew they were trying to kill me, mocking me. You didn't arrest them. Those people walked into your office and admitted they were legally monitoring me on their own. Where they run around telling people they had special permission. Well, what fool gave them special permission? Because they're going to go to jail with you, because the law states that police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements in a court order. Otherwise, it's 5 to 10 years. There's no such thing as special permission. They told you they had fake sodium pentothal reports, hypnotic drugs, and told to say it. You told Apostolic Church of Barberton the night before you talked to me after the hotline. You knew I was being drugged, beat, and raped and didn't care because that low-educated minister called me a faker to cover up his son's adultery. And I was never mean to any other women. See, where you said you were going to turn me back over to them for being mean to them, they lied. They conned you where they called you a fool on June 7th, 23, how they fooled you with the sonotapes before. You have more common sense than that, right? They made a fool out of you and called you a coward while you victimized a victim for an occult that was just trying to set up one of their people by scamming the government out of millions of dollars. You knew that, right? You knew this whole thing was for a drug dealer to set up his baby mama and baby for millions of dollars, and some occult was trying to set up one of their people for millions of dollars just to con it out of the government that their minister hated, right? You were part of, you're going to say you were part of conning the government out of millions of dollars for some drug dealer's baby mama, baby, with a cult? You're making fun of the victim they were harming and exploiting? You're part of a big con to steal from the government. Think it's funny when women are being drugged, being raped? Now, this whole thing where they said in the 18 they were just stealing for some poor family, they lied, they're wealthy. They just want to be millionaires. People about died. People were complaining that Savannah was telling people they're trying to set her and that baby up for life, that they'll be millionaires the rest of their lives. And she precious. She thinks she's the goddess. Everybody should kiss her ass. Michelle, I am so proud of you for telling on that crazy idiot. Everybody tell on her. She thinks people should be drug beaten, raped, so she can con the government out of money for her drug dealer boyfriend to run a big con and show off for the wealthy people how strong he is. And that cult, like the lady said, those apostolic people think we're all stupid. Oh, they thought the FBI was stupid too. Nobody can do this. That's why nobody has to say a word to her. Oh, I know. Always like when people say they're going after me. After me for that occult and some drug dealer running a con on the government? You'll end up in federal prison. Because for everything that they did, I can find a law that stops them. See, that's one thing with an apostolic religion. They think if they say something, and then somebody else says it, it's true. And they can do it. It's deranged thinking of theirs. It's sort of like Carl's son, Rick, thought he could tell everybody he had dementia and Alzheimer's, and he could take his farm. Just had to have 3 or 4 people say it. No, honey. It takes a doctor. So much memory loss. A neurologist with an MRI report and plaque buildup on your brain, and it's abnormal to get it, not normal. You can't just make up a lie and steal from somebody. See, that's what these people thought they could do. But they went further, and they thought they could have people exploit me by photoshopping washing in the shower in the other room. Fake, dirty doctors breaking HIPAA violations, being accessory to all those crimes. And drugged up, fake sodium pentothal reports, hypnotic drugs, and told to say stuff in stocking tapes. And that everybody should steal for them because they're gods. Because she had a drug dealer's baby when she was a teenager. And she comes from a very wealthy family. And she makes money now herself, but the government, everybody should steal for Princess Savannah. And her drug dealers, baby, they want to be millionaires the rest of their lives. I got people who are mad. They said they're trying to set them up that they'll be millionaires for life. So, FBI Agent John, you're helping steal for some drug dealer's baby mama and baby? Letting an occult, drug, beat, and rape a victim to run a con of the government? You're part of a con of the government out of money for a drug dealer? Is that what you're saying, honey? I'd like my money. And for helping out with this case, where you got Judge Peters out of Florida, Buffalo, New York, Michigan, California, some of the Texas group in the U.S. Marshals used the case and got thousands and saved hundreds. And let's not forget Michael Peterson, breaking and smuggling oil into the country through Trekasami. And I got a bill of sale, large money transfers, when he was leaving, where he was taking the port, was coming back into the state that was buying it. Not bad for a little old lady. They called down and asked about it, and they did an investigation. I got a world terrorist arrested. Like they said, what an accomplishment. If it wasn't for carrying around the house, thousands of drug cartel would still be on the street. They saved hundreds of lives. I'd like a letter of thank you. Most people win awards. I was raped. I was tortured. Skull bashed in. She had those idiots beat me in my stomach till they almost ruptured my intestines. I have large pouching. They induced vomiting till my stomach shifted underneath my ribs. They beat me with internal injuries. They stabbed me in the neck, crushed my head in. They almost killed me. So Savannah could be a millionaire? Her and her drug dealer babe? She needs to be prosecuted. My house manager, Melissa, her niece, was taken by those people. They never got her back. My other co-worker, Lori, they took her family member and they cut her up in pieces. Do you know how many thousands of people were human trafficked because they invited the human traffickers to come here and help? They need to be prosecuted for every death. Now, Agent John, your little informant lived through hell. And you told on me for calling the hotline, and you told people you knew they were drug beating, raping me. Now, on a recorded line, you admitted you had them in your office. They already knew I called FBI. You made fun of me for that guy Pete. I still don't know who he is. Some dirty doctor. I had some lady use my insurance before for 15 years. Found out an agent got it out of date. It was another girlfriend. Running up medical bills in my name, leaving me with a copay. Half my medical records are hers. I thought it was hers. Here, no, it's just a pecan. You made fun of me for all this, and you didn't arrest him. You don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. And every case comes with money and immunity for life. 95% of the people in the witness protection program are criminals. Only 5% are victims. And they erase out their whole past. And they stay in immunity for life and get money from the government for getting them information. You cannot withhold it. You cannot misdirect it. I like my money. I would like a letter of thank you. Most people win awards. And I need a medical card for all the injuries I suffered helping the government. It would be nice if you gave me and my husband a new name and social, because then we can live anywhere we want, and his family can't show up, try to kill him, trying to steal from him. You know what I pray for? You know what my Christmas wishes? Freedom. You know what freedom is? Living your life, not being afraid of being harassed, killed, sold, or harmed. It's living your life in peace. I didn't know what freedom was until this case, and until you lose it. You don't know what freedom is. And I pray for freedom. And I want my money I earned to help my family. And no drug dealers, baby mama and baby deserves my money that I earned and risked my life and helped save others. If you forget who the hero is in this story, it's me. I almost died to save my family and help the government save hundreds, where they told me I need to be proud of what I lived through. I am. I almost died. And like the investigator said, she deserves a hell of a lot more respect from people than what they give her. She almost died to save everyone. The ones call me amazing. She has no training. She helped us get all that information, all those people. I like my money agent, John. A letter, thank you. A medical card, new name and social would be nice. Then I wouldn't have to be afraid where I live. And my money coming in the rest of my life. I earned it. You know, Officer Mark, Officer John, I'm not mad at them. Hi, guys. They'll tell you I'm innocent of everything. They had drug dealers do this to me. I like my money. My whole family defended me. The other ones got tapes stating they made everything up. And these people admitted to drugging me and telling me to say it before. Photoshopping that weird with yourself as a shower scene in the other room. This whole thing was a con to extort money out of the government. For Savannah and her child. That drug dealer showing off, trying to set up his baby mama and baby. And that a cult helping out, because that cult leader hated the government. You get the idea. And they made a public fool out of you and the FBI and called you a coward. I like my money agent, John.